Awesome. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Oh my goodness, there's been a change. We've done some magical spells and we've transmorphobized everybody into two new.
I've taken on a lot of new humans, if that's the case.
We've done a full metal alchemist, and I've sacrificed.
Dang.
You don't even want to know what I sacrificed in order to get Kelsey on the stream. Kelsey and LeMar have joined us. Hi, y'all.
Hello.
Oh,
Kelsey is wow. This is
Oh, don't read that for verbatim. I just
yes, I'm gonna read it verbatim
to make myself
Kelsey's the Gen Con community manager and also the Supreme Queer Overlord.
I did in fact write that on our agenda that I was the Supreme Queer Overlord when I was writing that last night. So I guess if marketing is on here, you'll have to add that to my new business cards we just ordered. Please reorder my business cards. Thank you.
Sorry. And if you have any sort of interaction with Gen Con, this is the face that you're interacting with. So this is the face. There we go. It's over there. Be nice. Be nice to that human face, okay? Because when you get cranky about games, you're hurting a human being. And then we've got LeMar, who is our exhibit hall manager, who's like the one with all of the, like, you're like Thanos of the exhibitor hall. You hold all the gems.
Snapping fingers and putting people in the vendor hall.
yeah, just you over there, you're wrong, get out of here, that kind of stuff. No, not at all. Not at all.
Very excited to have you join us, LeMar. Thank you for coming on for your first stream as well. I'm very honored to be here with you. As you can tell, please don't take any of this seriously because I don't.
Good advice.
Good to know.
So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about the vendors. This is one of my favorite things to do at conventions, obviously, is just to spend all my money.
You and me both.
And over the course of the pineapple pan pizza that we've just had this past year, I've got a lot of monies to spend. And I'm very excited to talk to you guys more about the vendors that are coming back this year that people can anticipate, because, you know, we've kind of been apart. 2020, we didn't have an in-person event. 2021, we're having an in-person event. So we've missed a bunch of people in the past year. And who can we look forward to coming back this year?
We got so many faces, so many of your sweet faves. I am excited about Pandasaurus, who I got to interact a lot with during Spring Showcase, who honestly are a joy, and I really enjoy the games they've been putting out too, so I'm excited to see them. We got Funko Games, we got the good old Ravensburger, if you recall, our Good Villainous tournament that we ran earlier this year. I'm excited to see them in person and meet the faces that I've never seen before after I dressed up like Maleficent for so long. Slugfest Games, World Miniatures, a lot of the regular favorites that you see every year at Gen Con are going to be there, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have also Czech Games will be there, Catalyst Game Labs, the Op, Renegade, Artel Saurian. So as Kelsey mentioned, a lot of the usual suspects, a lot of the faces that you're used to seeing. You know, they missed last year. They're excited to be back, and they'll be there for you guys to spend your money. As you said, they'll be waiting to take it.
Eric will be back at the Renegade table with all of his vampire dollars. Be like, please, sir, give me the vampires. I've been waiting 2 years for the vampires.
There's nothing like seeing them all together, like in person, you know what I mean? Like, there's just something to being able to, I mean, when you buy things digitally, I've been buying games digitally for over a year now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, there's just something about actually seeing what's inside that I really, really love. So what I'm really excited for are the new people that you have coming on this year. That's always really exciting to me because Gen Con, I don't know if you guys know this, but Gen Con is like a pretty big deal.
Is it?
It's a pretty big deal. And every single year, I always hear about people who are like, "It's my first Gen Con year. Please be nice to me. I'm so excited." And so it's a pretty big deal. Who are the new people that you're really excited for this year?
We got a ton of new people in, and I am pretty excited to see the amount of new faces that we're going to see this year, because like I feel like this is going to be a really unique experience with like the amount of new presences we're going to see in the exhibitor hall. A lot of small guys, a lot of guys who have just published their first game. I'm particularly excited about Cobalt Press, who we spent some time, I think it was last year, interviewing some of the new up and coming designers on Fireside with Peter. And it's going to be cool to see what those guys are doing. We have a couple people doing like really cool, innovative maps and setting tools that are at Yarrow Studios. I'm excited to see those guys. And then we have some people who have just published their first ever games, like Featherstone Games and Phase Shift Games, who just put out a super, super cool, like, dungeon building game that I was looking at. I'm a sucker for cool packaging, by the way, so this is my biggest problem when I go through the exhibitor hall and like I see new people. I'm like, oh, there's a box I've never seen before, please put it in my hands. Now I've spent like $8 million. Oops. So there's going to be a lot of first time people, so when you're cruising that exhibitor list, it will be, I think, a really exciting time for a lot of people to see people who they've never seen before at Gen Con.
Yeah, and also for Entrepreneurs Avenue, which is an area of the exhibit hall where we normally showcase new exhibitors. As we all know, we didn't have a show last year, so the companies in this particular section were handpicked, and unfortunately did not get to come to the show last year. So I'm excited for them to finally get there and exhibit for the first time. Cosmodrome Games is one of those companies. They are an international publisher with dozens of games worldwide. So, we're excited to have them be a part of Gen Con for the first time as well. And speaking of, small indie companies, we have an indie artist in Naomi Van Doren, who designed our program book cover, and she is going to exhibit this year for the first time. So I'm excited for her to be able to show off her work. And also Crow D Games, who is a Russian company with many years of experience, and they have 6 new games that they want to introduce. They probably have more now since they missed last year, but they have good quality games and they have a good reputation. So we're excited for them to be a part of the show for the first time this year. So again, just glad that these companies in this particular area will finally get their shine and finally get to come to Gen Con for the first time.
I, for one, am excited for our new Russian gaming overlords to appear at Gen Con to see what gifts they will bring us from the motherland.
That's a spicy hot take. We're gonna sail right through that one. No, I'm really excited about this because I think that there's been a lot of conversation for a while of kind of the old guards of gaming, of the people that you always see, the people that are always there, and the not younger, but the newer people who are trying to get in and trying to carve their own kind of new spaces. And so I'm really excited that Gen Con is being very cognizant of trying to keep the people that you like, keep the people that are good, but especially over in the past year, there's been so much of a conversation about inclusivity, and who are we giving space to, and how can we incorporate more room for people who, like me, kind of want to see games that reflect my personal experiences, and who give me new kind of experiences, and who sort of broaden the scope. Besides, we've got the old classics, the old heads will be there, but but like it's exciting to discover new stuff. And I think over the past year we've really been having a lot of really meaningful conversations about that. So I'm really excited.
To me, like, that's what's new and special about Gen Con this year, right? Is I, in my brain, having gone to Gen Con for many years as an exhibitor, weirdly enough, this is going to be the weirdest Gen Con where every time like we talk in the team, it's like, how can we make this a unique experience? Because this is going to be a wildly unique Gen Con. Like, how can we let everyone kind of enjoy something that will feel brand new compared to a Gen Con experience they might have had before? Like, I've seen a lot of people talking about how like, oh, it's going to feel like an old Gen Con, like a less crowded Gen Con. I'm like, I don't think that's going to be true, because the kinds of people who you're going to be seeing in the exhibitor hall are going to be totally different than you might have been seeing like 20 years ago. And I am pretty pumped to see these new faces, because I think a lot of people treat Gen Con as like a formative career experience.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of these newer vendors who are bringing in, they're going to have that moment at Gen Con, and we all get to experience that with them. And that is the coolest thing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's, as Kelsey mentioned, we're going to have, lots of new companies. We've had the unique opportunity this year to, allow more new companies in than we normally do. That exhibit hall usually sells out before we leave the previous show, or it gets close to selling out. I should say, it doesn't completely sell out, obviously, but it's in high demand. Space in the exhibit hall is in high demand. And this year, we were able to more than double the amount of new companies that we can let in. And so as you mentioned, Isabella, lots of different companies from all over the world, from different backgrounds, offering different things. It really gives them a chance to kind of, have the Gen Con experience as an exhibitor. Normally it's really tough to bring in new companies and really tough to choose out of the many companies that apply. So being able to get these more new companies in this year, it feels really good. And it will be different, and there will be new faces, but there'll be a lot of the same faces too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think that one of the things that's really important for this Gen Con is, it's all about community. It's all about sort of resetting how you want things to feel for the future, because we all had such a hard year last year. And so it's really important to kind of come back together and do something that we can all agree on, which is how much fun games are. So I'm really excited about that. So I wanted you guys to kind of explain about how this Gen Con, how this is going to be a little bit different. We know that there are some kind of things that have changed due to the Pamela Anderson that we were in last year.
Wow.
Not literally, we were not literally in Pamela Anderson. Anyway, so we, this is a family friendly show. So we, there are some things that people should anticipate for this year. And I was hoping that you guys could kind of do the rundown of what people can kind of anticipate before they get to Gen Con this year.
Yeah, so like we said, the vendor hall is going to feel, I think, a little different compared to most normal Gen Cons. I will also say that list that we just let out into the masses is not finished yet. So as kind of the person who is like the forward facing, I'm the social media and community human here. So the number one question I've been getting probably for the past year is when the exhibitor list is going to release. When is it ready? What's happening? And the reason that we haven't put it out yet is because it's not ready, and in fact it is still not finished yet. So that exhibitor list is going to keep updating, so you're going to want to keep checking back until it's finalized, because we're still going to be adding people, and it's still going to be getting larger. It's the same reason why the exhibit hall map isn't ready yet, because we are remapping the whole thing. Lots of people are getting bigger booths, like because some of our usual suspects aren't going to be in person this year. It gave other companies opportunities to expand like their footprint in that vendor hall and do something bigger and cooler than they might not have been able to do in other years. So because of that, we haven't had a chance to release any of that stuff yet. So I think for someone who's been going every year, when they walk into that vendor hall for the first time and like they're used to seeing those pillar vendor booths, they're going to be like, oh dang, this is all new. And so I think that's why I say, like, when it's going to be a new experience for people, I feel like it's going to be like when you walk into Disney World the first time and like you're like, oh, I see now there's Star Wars Land over here and that wasn't there before. Let's go check out Star Wars Land. Like, it's going to be that kind of experience. The other thing I see a lot on social media is people are unsure if there's going to be enough things for them to buy. And I'm like, there's gonna be enough things for you to buy. I really promise there's gonna be enough things. There's so many things. there will definitely be enough things for you to buy. We have 350 vendors right now, and I don't even think that's the final number. So I promise you, if you're there to support our local and non-local gaming companies, oh boy, you're gonna be able to. Don't you worry.
Yeah, and so, kind of to piggyback on that, yeah, there's going to be some different things, in the exhibit hall this year. One thing that'll be different is we're going to have timed entry into the exhibit hall every morning. So, for those of you who are used to, getting there to rush into the door and run to your favorite company to get that Gen Con exclusive, you don't have to actually worry about that this year. We actually are not having companies run those types of exclusives, just so that we can kind of, be aware of the crowd flow, and obviously, you never want to run in the exhibit hall, so you don't have to worry about being there right when it opens. We're going to have time to entry that will be accessible via a no-cost ticket through our ticketing system. So basically, you'll get a no-cost ticket for what time you want to go in. They will be in 20-minute intervals starting at the opening at 10 o'clock, and that will go from 10 o'clock to noon. And then once 12 o'clock hits, then the doors will be open for all.
It really is like Disney Fast Pass. I kind of love it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's an interesting. You heard it here first. Kelsey said that
Gen Con
is the Disneyland.
I don't want to get sued. I said nothing of the mouse.
The mouse. So yeah, that's something that's going to be a little different. And those 20-minute intervals, I mean, that those intervals could become more frequent depending on the crowd flow, right? If we're not, if you have a ticket to get in at 10:40, we're not going to make you wait around until that time if there's no crowd. So, and it may even become a situation where that becomes 10 to 11, or it just depends on the flow of the crowd. But so that'll be a little bit different. And as we've mentioned, we've had this opportunity for new companies, as Kelsey mentioned. We've had the opportunities for current companies and returning companies to grow. So that definitely feels good to allow that to happen. The layout itself, as mentioned as well, is going to be a little bit different. The company that you're used to seeing in a certain area may not be there. The art show may be in a different place. Entrepreneurs Avenue may be in a different place. They may be a little bit different. A lot of them will be in the same places, but there will still be still components. It will still be an exhibit hall. There's still going to be family fun. There's still going to be the art show area, Entrepreneurs Avenue. We're still going to have pin trading.
I'm going to spend so much money. I'm going to spend so much money on pins. Oof.
The opportunity will be there for all of that. It's still going to be the same old, Gen Con. When you walk into those doors and you start cruising through the different booths, it will feel the same as it always does. So, I know that everyone's excited to be back. I'm definitely excited to be there in this role, and it will be just as fun as it always is, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be what I'm going to wait to see happen. And if it does, I'm going to make myself a mental bingo checklist of the first time I see a human burst into the vendor hall running towards a specific vendor that they think is there. And it's just a whole new person. And they're like, oh, I'm looking forward to those moments of surprise. Look, we have new people.
It's it's good to keep things fresh,
Yeah.
It's good to constantly kind of update things so that people are more cognizant. They're more aware of, who they're buying from and what's new and things like that. I think that's great. I'm not one of those people that's just I hate change. I don't want anything to change. No, I love change.
Constantly change. Give me change all the time.
You got to change to stay, alive, to stay afloat. So I'm really excited about this. There were some questions in the chat about expanding the exhibitor hall to a second exhibitor hall. Is there any thoughts?
Oh, in 2022?
Yeah, in 2022.
I mean, we're always looking at that. As I said, that exhibit hall is in high demand, and I've said before that I wish there was a way I could just kind of blow out the walls and create more room somehow so we can get more vendors in. But we have a talented group of event planners that are here at Gen Con, and we are always looking for ways to create more room, to use different spaces, to maybe annex. Nothing is set in stone yet, but there are some ideas out there. So none that I can necessarily speak on right at this moment, but just know that we are definitely always looking for additional space, and it could happen. I'll just leave it that way.
Whoa. Do you have a ghost in the office?
God was speaking to me about that. So
LeMar, you need more exhibit hall space.
Yeah. I've got confirmation that we're going to get it one day. So sorry, there's that's in the hallway.
The Gen Con office is haunted. The Gen Con office is haunted.
That's spooky. I was gonna ask you guys also about like the digital components. Are you guys kind of keeping, because I remember last year there was kind of some Gen Con digital stuff that you guys were incorporating. Are you guys incorporating any of that this year as well? Are you keeping some of the digital live streaming components as well?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have live streams. Like Gen Con Online is going to be a fully living and breathing convention experience, kind of like how it was last year. The exhibit hall portion is going to be different. Instead of doing the big giant space map we did last year, we're going to have a linkable vendor map, which I think will be easy for people to navigate. And then the majority of our focus for Gen Con Online is going to be just a ton of digital experiences for folks to play, a ton of streaming events. I've been working with the stream team a little bit on figuring out what our schedule is going to be for that, and it's going to be a lot. So we'll be streaming some stuff live from the con. We'll be streaming some stuff remotely. I think that it's going to be, for people who enjoyed the Gen Con Online experience, like you're going to still have that and still be able to enjoy it. And you'll be able to tune into stuff happening at the con too. So there's going to be even more for you to do really than there was last year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because, there's still some people who don't feel comfortable going to the con or aren't able to go to the con. And so I love that there's still ways of interacting with all of that. If you don't feel like going in person, you can still interact, you can still engage, and you can still buy money. You can still buy things.
Still buy stuff.
You can still buy stuff no matter where you are, which is really exciting for me.
You will see me in both places, which will be wild because I will be at the convention, but I will also be in the Gen Con Discord. So you will see me no matter where you are.
There's also pop-up Gen Con.
Oh yeah, true.
That we should mention for those who might not be able, who either choose not to come to the event, the convention, or can't make it. There's also pop-up Gen Con. So you can check out our page on our website to see if your friendly local game store will be hosting anything for Gen Con Online, but that definitely is another option for some as well.
Yeah, I don't think Pop-Up Gen Con's list is released yet. Not yet, but it will be soon.
It will be.
Yeah. But Pop-Up Gen Con is going to be another really cool experience, especially if you have like a local game store near you. I know that my local game store here in Pittsburgh is like hype. They I go and see them every week because they have a lot of dice and I buy too many dice. But when I went in there, they knew who I am and they were like, "Oh, Kelsey, we applied to be Pop-Up Gen Con." I was like, "Yeah," and they were hype on it. They were hype. So even though I am not going to be able to support them physically, since my presence will be required at the convention, I am excited for my friends to be able to get a piece of the Gen Con experience, even though they're not coming with me to Indianapolis.
That's great. No, that's really great because a lot of local game stores have kind of suffered during the Pineapple Under the Sea. And so
everyone you say is even better than the last.
I took a whole year.
Keep them coming too. I love them.
It's been a whole year coming up with these. And so I think it's really great that you guys still figured out ways to support the local game centers because of the fact that they took a huge hit during the last pantomime. And so I'm really excited. I got them. I know. So I'm really excited about this. And just to confirm with you guys as well, there will be mask required. Please also hygiene. I say this for every con.
In general, just like even if there wasn't God, I have to think of a good one now. a pamplemousse, even if there wasn't a pamplemousse that happened last year. How many years in the past have we all left a convention with like a cold or like the flu or some other kind? Yeah, it's awful. And I know for me, like this has been revolutionary in the sense of like I'm gonna wear a mask at every convention I go to now forever because I am never going to get sick again.
Yes, yeah.
And if you're curious about our health stuff, we are putting out monthly updates to our convention goers so they kind of know where we're at, because I mean all the health stuff is a moving target constantly, so we are updating our best practices as we go forward, and I think we're going to have an update next week actually, if I remember correctly. So I will throw it everywhere on the internet once it is up as usual, and I will have some other fun announcements for this month too that are not health related but maybe pride related.
Oh, okay, nice. Yes, no, while you're out there touching everybody's dice, that literally, not proverbially, and you're out there touching, going in everybody's boxes, literally, not proverbially, you need to wash your hands. You need to wash your hands in between that, maybe gloves or something like that. You know, just think about it. I have been going to conventions for the past years.
Forever.
And I get sick so often, and I think that incorporating some kind of healthy stuff for the future, for the foreseeable future, is really the way to go. So I'm really excited about that as well. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining me to talk more about Gen Con 2021. Do you have any parting words, anything to check out for, anything that you want to talk about before we go?
You got anything, LeMar, before I dominate space and time?
No, just again, just it'll be the same old exhibit hall. A lot of the usual suspects. I mean, I know that a lot of people are hesitant about what companies are going to be there, what companies aren't going to be there. Is it going to be a different experience? As we mentioned before, for those people who are used to seeing the exact same things all the time, this will be an opportunity for them to see a little different, and maybe they'll have a new favorite after this year. But I think everyone is excited to get back, and we hope to see everyone there.
Yeah, I will agree with that wholeheartedly. I think this is the thing I keep saying about this Gen Con is it's going to be different. And it's going to be different in, I think, a really cool way. And for me, there's like this excitement that I feel getting back to something that feels normal, but also feels like new and exciting and different. And I am pretty pumped to both be able to like see a bunch of nerds again, because I do miss that seeing nerds part of my life, and I'm excited to like just play some games and spend too much money and all those good things. Also drink beer with my friends, I do miss that as well. So hopefully we'll see you there at Gen Con Indy, and if not, I hope to see you at Gen Con Online, and if not, I hope to see you at a pop-up Gen Con, and if not, you should join us on Gen Con TV. Do you have the schedule there for Gen Con TV, Isabella?
She sure does, as she frantically clicks around confidently. Woo! I'm good at
Let me, you want us to start off? I can start us off.
Yep. No, I got it. That was like a pop quiz. Like suddenly I was like, oh no, did I study? Thank you so much, LeMar. It was great to meet you. Thank you so much,
Great being
Kelsey.
here. Thank you.
It's good to see you as always. Please eat a Belgian waffle in my honor.
Every time I see you, I just go eat a waffle. That's the
please
rule.
eat a waffle. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope that you guys learned a lot of stuff, and that you guys will now take this out into the world and spread this out into the masses, and tweet and live stream and talk about it and share your plans for who you're going to buy from this year. And I can't wait to see all of your unboxings and all of your Gen Con merch drops as you guys talk to me about how you're financially devastated after Gen Con and you don't know how you'll recover. I can't wait to see that. For you guys who are wanting more from Gen Con, please know that we've got so much more content for you. We've got a streaming schedule that is Monday, 6 p.m. You can watch the board games with Brother Smurf. Wednesday, 10 a.m., This Game Gets Dicey. Friday, 2 p.m., the greatest table takes, the greatest TTRPG game show. Game show about games. The greatest show on Twitch. Table takes.
All right.
There we go. And you can come back for us 2 p.m. These times are all PST, also the greatest time zone in the world. Everything about us is just great. Remember to follow and subscribe. Slap that notification button. Slap that follow button as well. And if you miss one of our shows live stream, you can always catch them on YouTube just one day later. And if you want to connect with other Gen Con fans, we also have an official Discord and we have a Twitter as well. I wanted to thank so much to Javion, who's flying on a jet plane right now. Thank you so much to Emma and Bonsai the baby, to Kelsey, to LeMar. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys all next week again. Take care of yourselves. Happy Pride. Get your vaccination. If you still haven't gotten your vaccinations,
get your vaccination.
50%. Yeah, we need to get up to 50% so that we can all go back to cons again. Okay, everybody.
And I can go to a bar. Bye.